Hi y'all, it's Becky Roesler. I have Becky's Junk Journals on Instagram, on YouTube. On Instagram, I'm Becky's Journals because I had to start a new Instagram after my accounts got hacked. But I'm back. So today I'm continuing the little mini series on making these one signature journals, and I've got the covers made completely. And I've got the signature sewn into them. So I'm going to show you what I've got so far. And starting with this one, I love how this one turned out. I just love it. Absolutely love it. Thrills me to my soul. And I've got the places on the back where I'm going to run ribbon through there on the inside. Open it up. I've still got my top thing on there, so when I start working on the inside I won't put things in upside down, but I'm going to show you how it looks real quick. This is the one that's going to be pink and lavender, and in other videos I've showed you how I choose papers. In the previous video I showed how I choose the papers to go in this one. And I'm not going to show you how I sew things in because I have to hold the thing up to my face to do it, to get it done right. And I juggle around so much. Sewing in signatures is you get used to it after you've done a dozen or so. But it's not my favorite thing because I have arthritis in my hands and my wrist, and so I'm trying to maneuver this around, and it gets pretty fidgety. But that's how it turned out with everything sewed in, and the front with all its layers of fabric, and the back. Love this one, and this is the one I'm going to be starting with in Junk Journal July. So once I've got everything sewn in like this, I go to this stage, and here's the other one. I've got gold tucked in up underneath there, and this is kind of a champagne color velvet that this is made upon. Lace on the back, same thing. The ribbon will go through the back and come around to the front and tie. But I love the way this one turned out too. It's very different than the other ones that I've done. So the first thing I do once I have got the signature sewn in, and it's just a blank journal like this one is, I go through and I pick out pages where I want to put pockets, tuck spots, and belly bands. And that's just my step-by-step process. It's just easier for me to do it in steps. So I like to choose the pockets. And this one I had already glued down this card, so I decorated the edge with 2 layers of trim there for this pocket. And for the front, I wanted something that picked up the gold, so I used this fabric. And I wanted to tell you that when I use fabric like this is kind of a stretchy fabric that came from a vintage table runner that I cut up. And, you know, it's kind of crocheted looking. And so it's awful hard to work with when you're just working with it directly on something. So I glue it to cardstock. And in this case, I used a scrap of this exact same paper cardstock that I have back here. So when I glue it down, it'll look like the little holes are peeking through the exact same thing. You probably can't see it, but it's a real pale pink that's up underneath there, and this pale pink of this. But anyway, it's a lot easier to work with these pockets if you make them like that. And this one is going to go exactly there. The only thing I have done is just add this little piece of lace trim to this inside, and then that'll be how I finish off the inside front cover. 2 pockets. And then this page is my inspiration for colors and everything, and so I'm going to just put a piece of this fun trim that I have along the edge there on this one. I like a lot of textiles in my journals. This is another pocket, corner pocket that I made just by cutting up one of those vintage table runners I got at an estate sale. I bought a whole bunch of them real cheap recently at an estate sale, and I just cut them up and use them, and I love the texture and the interest that it gives. But I'm going to put this one, and all I did was just glue this little trim right here on it, and then this is thick enough and sturdy enough that I don't have to back it, and it's not that stretchy. It's more tightly woven. So I will just glue that directly right there, and that'll be my pocket for that page. This has a pocket. This one, I decided I needed some trim on the edge. This page is a little bit shorter, so it's perfect for adding some trim right there. This is just how I get started decorating a journal. This is one of my items of ephemera that I made with just a paper doily that I glued to paper and made that, so that's going to have a flip out writing spot on that side. See, some of the pages I just didn't have anything right at hand that I was going to do, but I always start with textiles. But this one, let's see, how did I side it? Yeah, this is how I'm going to do this. I'm going to put that right up there in that corner, like that, for that. And this was cut up with a dresser scarf, the old-fashioned vintage dresser scarf. Here's some a cutout that I made from that old vintage fabric curtain that I did in my last project, and I'm going to put that right there and use that in decorating this page spread. So I just went through and I grabbed some things that I thought would be good to start for the spread. And I like my pages color coordinated, and just, I don't know whether it's you know, obsessive compulsive or whatever it is, but I like them coordinated. I like the way it looks. So here's one of my pockets that I made from a tissue box, and I think that I'm going to put this one as a tuck spot right there. And then you can tuck things up in there like that. That'll be unusual. This right here is another piece that I cut out from that old vintage curtain, and I glued it to some cardstock, so just plain white cardstock. I'm going to make a corner tuck, I think, for right down here on that one. And then I'll add some lace trim of some kind. I might put it on this side. Yeah, I like it better on this side. How about right there? Then you can tuck papers in that way. Oops, there, leave that in there. This one, I decided I wanted one of my hand cut out flowers, and I do have a tutorial on making these fold and cut paper flowers. It's really fun to make them, and I usually make up a whole bunch of them with scraps. When my scrap pile gets kind of big, I fold and cut paper flowers, but this is how it's going to start decorating on this page. This one, I probably will put some trim on this side. And the back, this one, here's another pocket that I made, and I used the velvet or velour fabric from the front of this right here, some of that as a backing on this, because it wasn't sturdy enough because the holes came up along this edge were really thin. So I just made myself a pocket, and notice how the edges right here, I use my serrated scissors, my zigzag scissors, to make the edge a little ragged, so it doesn't have that hard straight line. And this one is going to go right there like that as a pocket. And then the ribbon will go through here, but then I'll be able to put tall stuff in the back. And I think I'm going to do a belly band right here in some kind of fabric, but I haven't decided. So that's what I do. I go through and I pick out textiles. I custom make pockets, and I do have a lot of pockets that are pre-made ephemera that I've made in other mask making projects. But for the most part, I like to custom make each thing I do that's just for this particular page spread. I like the way it coordinates better and draws your eye from one side to the other. Okay, well, this is all I wanted to show you. When I start pulling stuff, I go through my stash and I get a big pile of stuff, just stuff. This is the pile that I'm going to use to go through and put in this one right here. And I've got textiles, a few textiles. I've got some different colored papers. I've got some things I'm going to use as tab spots. I've got some fabric cutouts. All of these things. I've got a pocket that's pre-made with one of my flowers on it. Plus that, plus all the textiles that I have on hand. I've also have a pile of these textiles that I'm going to use in this journal. This journal is going to be more light and bright, so it'll have a lot more white and pastel pink in it. The other one is more subdued, and it has cream colors and beige and a little brown and peachy colors. This one's a more bright pink, and to follow that the cover itself. I like to make the cover first and then make the inside go with the cover, with the same feel, the same personality, rather than making my pages or signatures first. Okay, that's all I have for today. The next time you'll see these, it'll be a flip through of the fully finished ones, and we'll start Junk Journal July. Thanks a lot for watching. Come and see me. I'm on Instagram as Becky's Journals, and I'm on Facebook now as Rebecca Roesler. Bye-bye.